What brings someone down often starts with a small request, not a big betrayal. And those small requests eventually end up taking up your entire day. At first, it was just a request to help once. It was a plea that it was really urgent. It was a request that you do this just this once. So you helped. It's because I want to be a good person, and since it looked like the other person was having a hard time, I thought that if I just did a little more, everything would be easier for everyone. But something strange happens. A favor you do once doesn't end with just gratitude. If it happens twice, it becomes something you expect. If it happens 3 times, it becomes a role. And from the moment you take on the role, people no longer ask questions. Long ago, a sage who had looked coldly at the unvarnished reality of human relationships understood that whether you can do it, whether it's hard for you, and whether you have a schedule of your own, none of that can be ignored. The issue isn't that you're kind, it's that people remember permission more precisely when it's granted repeatedly than when it's just said once. The problem is that nobody knows how far your kindness goes. If you keep letting them have their way, people will think like this: that person is a good person. And after a little while, it changes like this: that person is someone who takes care of you. After even more time, it hardens like this: that person is, of course, the kind of person who will help. From that moment on, your kindness becomes not a choice but the default. Your time gets pushed behind someone else's schedule. No one counts your fatigue. Your weekend gets filled with someone else's urgent matters. You clearly are someone who helped others, but at some point, if you refuse, you end up feeling like you're the one who should be sorry. Today, we need to look at this strange structure precisely. Learning to say no doesn't mean becoming a cold person. It doesn't mean wanting to fight either. It means placing a handle on the door to my life. When it's time to open, I open it. When it's time to close, I close it. If that door isn't there, anyone can come in. At first, they enter carefully, but later they come in without even taking off their shoes. And even in the middle of your own room, you end up worrying about what other people think. Now, let's take a look at one person's day. Jung-woo was a senior with a good reputation at work. He didn't speak too harshly. If someone asked him for a favor, he didn't frown. Even if the juniors made mistakes, he didn't scold them severely. Within the team, he was known as an easygoing senior. In particular, Juno, who was a second-year junior, often went to see Jung-woo. At first, it was really something small. "Senior, would you mind taking a look at this document format one time?" Jung-woo fixed it lightly. They also went through a few sentences, changed the table title, and when reporting to the team leader, they told me what order would be best to say things in. Junho was thankful. "It's much better since you're taking care of it, like a senior would." Hearing that, Jung-woo felt a bit proud. The feeling of being helpful to someone wasn't bad. A few days later, Junho sent another message. "Sir, I'm sorry, but could you take a look at this document one more time as well?" This time too, Jung-woo took a look. But this time, it wasn't just a simple review. The flow of the report was tangled. The numbers in the jaleo were also incorrect. In the end, Jung-woo paused his own work for a moment and nearly recreated Junho's materials. That day, Jung-woo stayed 1 hour late and left for work an hour later than usual. Still, he thought it was okay, since the junior isn't yet used to it. If I help a little, things will get better next time. But the problem is that they didn't improve even then. Yonho sent messages more and more naturally. "Senior, would it be possible for you to do this as well?" "Senior, our team manager said it was urgent." And every sentence always ends with an apology. But strangely, the more the apologies piled up, the less the requests actually decreased. If anything, they increased. At first, it was a review. Next, it was revisions. After that, it was Jung Lee. Later, I even went ahead and sent the draft. "Sir, if you could just point me in the right direction, I'll take it from there." But Jae-woo knew. There's no such thing as only getting directions. If you start by setting the direction, you end up changing the table of contents. And if you change the table of contents, the content changes, and if the content changes, you ultimately end up having to touch the entire document again. It was the same that day, too. On the left side of Jung-woo's monitor, the tasks he needed to do were open. On the right, the materials Jun-ho sent were open. It was already past the time to clock out. The office lights were about half off. And Jun-ho had already gone home. This is the kind of message that was posted in the group chat. Thank you so much, senior. I'll make sure to report back to you tomorrow morning. Jung-woo stared at that sentence for a long time. I'll report back after I've taken a good look. Strangely, that remark took a long time. The person who created the materials was Jung-woo. The person who stayed up until night and made revisions was also Jung-woo. However, the person who will present at tomorrow's meeting was Jun-ho. At first, it was something I helped with. But now I was filling in for someone else's shortcomings. Here, Jung-woo reaches a small realization. If you have to ask more than once, it turns into a structural relationship. Even if you don't remember the person who helped, the person who was helped remembers the route. When things are difficult, who should you go to? When it's urgent, who should you hand it off to? Find the person who won't keep refusing you until the end, and once that path is established, people will choose that road even faster. Next Monday morning, the team manager said, in the conference room, Mr. Jun-ho, you organized the materials well last time. Jun-ho smiled and replied that the structure was quite good. Jung-woo Sr. helped a little. A little, that word was driven into Jung-woo's ear. It wasn't just a little help. Jung-woo's night was underway, and his own work that he had put off had also come in. But in the conference room, that matter turned into only something minor. After the meeting ended, Jun-ho came over. Because of you, I was able to live. But could I ask for just one more favor this week? I'm genuinely not sure about this one. So Jung-woo was going to speak up. This time, I wanted to say it's difficult. But Jun-ho's face looked so desperate. At the door to the meeting room, the team leader was talking with someone else. I thought that if I refused, the atmosphere would become awkward. I was worried that I might look like someone who treats my junior too coldly. And then the same thing was said again. Just send it. The moment those words ended, Jae-woo knew. The tragedy of someone who can't say no is right. Here because you've just gone and scheduled yet another late night for yourself. It feels like the other person is the one breaking me down. But in the end, it's like I was the one who gave the final permission. So even if I feel wronged, it's hard to get angry. Because, in terms of appearances, it was me who accepted it. Because I told them to go ahead and send it for now. Because I said it was okay. But was it really okay? Jung-woo stayed at the office again that night. Jun-ho changed the file name and saved it. The usual file names final, revised, and truly final kept piling up on the screen. He still hasn't even started his own work. Outside the window, the office lights went out one by one. And only Jung-woo's desk remained brightly lit. At that moment, Jung-woo opened his calendar for the first time. This week's schedule was packed. But something felt strange. In that schedule, there were even more other people's requests than Jun-woo's own work. After preparing for the meeting, I checked the juniors' materials, reviewed them for the team leader's report, and supplemented it. I reviewed Juno's presentation materials. It was a schedule laid out under his own name, but he didn't have any time for it. People who can't say no aren't kind people, they're the ones who, at some point, get assigned to someone else's schedule. That person's day isn't filled with choices they made themselves. Someone else's urgent matter, someone else's inexperience, someone else's request, someone else's expectations caught in between. I can barely get by with my own work. And when I get home, I think like this. Why am I always so tired? Why can't I even handle my own work properly? It's because I'm constantly being good to people. Yet I get more and more exhausted over time, and the reason is simple. It's not because your ability is lacking. It's not because you don't have enough time. It's because too many people are entering your time without permission. But this problem doesn't end at the company. Instead, harder still is the family. At work, at least there are the words, rank, and job duties. But within the family, requests come in under the name of love. The moment you try to refuse, your heart feels heavy. There, family, can't you do this for them? If it isn't you, who will? You're the one who's most comfortable with it. So I'm just asking. In front of those words, many people break down. Su Yian was a working professional who worked all day on weekdays. During the weekdays she was worn down by work at the company. And after work she had to catch up on all the housework. She only wanted to quietly rest for one day on the weekend. But every Saturday morning, we received a call. "Daughter, it's busy for you today, so mom has to go to the hospital. But dad says he wants to go grocery shopping. The younger sibling can't come because of the kids." At first, Su Yian also went, of course. My parents are asking, so how could I possibly refuse? I took them to the hospital, went grocery shopping at the market, and then returned home to carry the heavy bags. My parents said thank you. Su Yan said it was okay, too, but that it's okay was repeated too often. And somehow Saturday morning had naturally become a family schedule. When Su Yan tried to make plans with her friend, her mom said, "This Saturday can't work, so we need to go to the grocery store together that day." But when Su Yan hesitated for a moment, these words followed. "I know you're busy too, but it's a request from my parents. Surely you can do something like that." His words were gentle, but Su Yun felt like her options were narrowing. One weekend, she really wanted to get some real rest. Her body felt heavy, and the overtime at work continued throughout the entire week. So Su Yun spoke cautiously for the first time. "Mom, I think I need to take it easy this week. Could we not go next week?" On the other end of the phone, there was a brief quiet. That short silence made Su Yian uneasy. And then mom said, "I got it. If it was that hard for you, then that was that. You said you understood." But the disappointment was audible in your voice. After hanging up the phone, a message appeared in the family group chat. "Mom, I'll go to the hospital by myself today. I'll be back soon." When Su Yian saw those words, her heart dropped. Her younger sibling didn't say anything. Even my father didn't say anything. In the quiet group chat, it felt like only Su Yian had become the bad person. In the end, Su Yian called again. "No, I'll go. What time? Do I need to be there?" That day, Su Yian was holding the steering wheel. When I stopped at the traffic light, I suddenly looked at the calendar. This month, out of the 4 Saturdays, 3 were family schedules. While shopping for the hospital and visiting her relative's house, Su Yian found that every item on the schedule she had marked to rest was all pushed back. At that moment, Su Yian reaches a second realization. The reason it's hard to refuse even in close relationships isn't only because of requests. Because I'm afraid that if I say no, I'll be seen as someone who lacks love. At work, I can't say no because I'm afraid I'll look incompetent. Within my family, I can't say no because I'm afraid it will seem selfish. In the end, it's only the name of fear that's different. The core is the same. It's about erasing myself so I won't be hated. But saying you love your family isn't the same as saying you give up your entire life. Saying you think about your parents is not the same as saying you give up your time every week. Being a good daughter is different from being someone you can call on anytime for help. Su Yan loved her parents. That feeling was real. But just because love is real doesn't mean you can get any request you make. Love also needs a body. It takes time. You need to recover. A broken person can't love for long. Su Yian received the call again a few weeks later. This time, it was about the hospital on Saturday as well. This time was different from before. Su Yan did not answer right away. She said she would take a look at the calendar for a moment. And then she checked her own schedule first. That Saturday morning, we couldn't go to the hospital together. Instead, we were able to go on Sunday afternoon. Su Yan said quietly. "Mom, this Saturday morning is difficult. But Sunday afternoon is possible. Let's go together then." Then, from the other side of the phone, silence came again. Su Yian's mind wavered. If it were like before, she would have changed her words right away. "No, I'll go on Saturday." But this time I held on. I let the silence pass. Then my mom said, "Yeah, then let's go on Sunday." Su Yan found out for the first time that day. The other person's hurt may be something that isn't necessarily a problem I have to solve immediately. That hurt can pass. Even silence can pass. Even the awkwardness of the line you first drew can pass. But if I keep not being able to tolerate that awkwardness and step back again, the relationship will forever return to how it used to be. Now is the time to bring out that old wisdom I mentioned at the beginning again. Baltasar Gracián did not view human relationships as driven purely by good intentions. He saw that between people there are expectations. And when those expectations are repeated, they become rights, and those rights, once established, do not easily give way. At this point, we need to revisit Baltasar Gracián's cold wisdom in today's language. A person who accepts every request isn't necessarily a dignified person. A dignified person quietly distinguishes between what they can give and what they cannot. Refusing isn't a way to push the other person away, it's the bare minimum I set. So I don't abandon myself. It doesn't mean you should become a cold person. It doesn't mean you should punish the other person. It simply means you should clearly say what you can and cannot do. If you don't refuse, people won't read your mind. I only remember your permission. You took me in even though you looked like you were having a hard time. Even though you looked busy, you still did it. You came, after all, even last time. People believe the repeated results more than your true feelings. So rejection isn't about emotions, it's about structure. A structure that protects me, prevents the relationship from tipping to one side. It keeps kindness from turning into obligation. So what should we do now? The sentences you can actually use don't need to be long. This time, it's difficult for me to take on. This is as far as I can help. This sentence isn't cold. It is not aggressive either. It does not blame the other person either. It only sets clear boundaries. And you should practice refusing like this. First, don't give a long explanation. People who can't say no usually talk too much. They go on at length about why it's difficult, and how busy they are, not because they dislike the other person, but because they say it all in long detail. But the longer the explanation goes on, the more the other person sees gaps beyond the standards. So you need to keep it brief. This time it's difficult. Today, it's difficult for me due to my schedule. I can't take this on right now. Second, please separate what is possible from what is not possible. You don't necessarily need to stop it right away. That said, I decide how far I can go. I can't create the entire set of materials from scratch, but I can review the direction for about 10 minutes. Saturday is difficult, but Sunday afternoon is possible. It's difficult to lend you money, but we can look for other options together. If I say it this way, I can protect myself without ending the relationship. Third, state the standard first rather than offering an apology. If an apology comes first, what you say gets shaky. Because I'm sorry, I'll do it because I'm sorry. I'll only ask you this once because I'm sorry. I'll change my schedule if it goes like this. The refusal disappears and only sacrifice remains. You can feel remorse. But the first letter of the word must be the standard. This time, it's difficult. This is as far as I can go. You can add to it next. I do want to help. I understand the situation. I'll see when I can do it next. This order is important. Principles come first, and consideration comes next. There's a reason you haven't been able to say no until now. You didn't want to ruin the relationship. I didn't want to disappoint someone. I wanted to remain a good person. I couldn't ignore it when the other person was having a hard time. That feeling itself is not a bad thing. On the contrary, it's a precious feeling. But that feeling couldn't protect you for long. Once, that approach may have softened the relationship. But now it's keeping you trapped. The more you say, "You're fine," the more people believe you're fine. The more you say you can keep going, the more people will believe that you can. The more you keep apologizing and stepping back, the more your standards get pushed farther and farther back. So, from today on, don't give up kindness. Instead, please give the sentence to kindness. Please don't give up consideration. Instead, give limits to consideration. Don't hate people instead. See how far people's expectations reach. Rejection isn't a word that makes you a bad person, it's not what you are. Rejection is a word that helps you not disappear within a relationship. Today, the sentence you should inscribe in your subconscious is this: I do not abandon myself in order to avoid being hated. Do not just listen to this sentence and move on. People remember sentences they write themselves longer than sentences they understand only through their minds. Leaving a single sentence in the comment box using N is more than just a way of showing up, it's a form of commitment. It's a small promise that I won't collapse again in the same way. I don't abandon myself so I won't be hated. When someone says it again next time, just this once, and when they assume your time under the name of family. And when your words start to waver because of that feeling of sorry, this sentence will hold you close. In the last chapter, we learned that even as we grow closer, I must still protect my boundaries. Today, we learned how to express that line in words. In the next chapter, we delve into the issue of deeper trust. Being kind and trusting innocently are different. You should learn how to see people's patterns without hating people. The next page of your life, your book will surely shine more elegantly and powerfully. Mind Library.